Hi Scorpio, welcome to your May reading. All right, careful. There's a lot coming at you, work-wise, romance-wise, exes-wise. There's a lot, but I just need you to be careful. Not everything is the way it seems. And when you guys spend too much time alone, your mind, I don't know, just be careful. Four of Wands, the Lovers, and the Three of Swords. Just be careful. No matter how it seems right now, and I'm not saying it's going to go bad, I just need you to take it all with a grain of salt. No matter how fast or slow it's moving, I need you to slow it down a little bit more. And if this is an ex, be really careful. Really careful. You have some reevaluating to do. You have some healing to do. You were dealing with a Gemini and you never really got over the pain of it. You need to look at that now. The Empress, Queen of Cups, Five of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. Who you were, who you are, and what happened to you don't really match. And you've had a lot of time to think about it. Sometimes things happen not because of who we are, but because of what we need to learn. I think that for all your toughness, it really does hurt you deeply when someone takes too much. It's important for you to deal with the past and where you were taken from and where you were hurt and perhaps left miserable, just so you don't bring it into your future. You know, those first three cards, Four of Wands, the Lovers, Three of Swords, is also about something new coming into your life. But if you haven't resolved the pain of the past, even if it's the pain of like how you grew up, the pain of what you were taught, the pain of being lied to, the way that somebody wrapped you around their finger basically, and could very well do it again. We want to deal with the fears of the past and not sabotage our present, of course. But when the present and the past are very similar, we can't help but go back there. But we don't need to go back there. We just need to heal and move forward. Now, later this month, it's very possible that all that healing and all that introspection leads you to a magic moment where you really do feel like, whoa, this could be the one. But it's very important, again, for you to have your head on straight when that moment comes. It's about half-half. Half of you are experiencing perhaps a love connection that is nothing like what it seems. And half of you will be able to overcome your past and heal. I'm not saying they both can't happen at the same time. It's a confusing term that turns into a very gratifying one, depending on how much work and how much patience you have to give to yourself. This isn't about anybody else. This is just about you. Everybody else is just a bit player in this play. It's just you on stage. And all your hurts and all your pains. You know, you do have the sun across from you just sitting there illuminating everything that's happened and everything that will happen. You have the full moon coming in and shining a light on the parts of your misery that you really don't ever want to talk about. And yet, Through it all, you are beautiful, you are strong, and by the end of May, pretty complete. So it's good. It's really good. We just want to keep on the right side of this wheel. No fighting, no drama. Focusing on the inner self, healing from the past, healing from all sorts of trauma, taking the opportunity in the solitude to do so, and becoming so magnetic in the process, inviting in so much good luck, so much money. It happens like magic for you. But only after we're honest with ourselves. Only after we stop hiding. I think the hardest part for you guys is admitting that sometimes you can make mistakes. If an ex comes back into your life and you want to use that opportunity to prove that you were never wrong, it's gonna hurt. Don't do it. Instead, realize that healing isn't about blame and that you are allowed to make mistakes, to rectify them, and to move forward. You're allowed to do all three. It's not like making a mistake means you're not allowed to heal. You know, like you're not good enough to heal. Now you just have to live with the pain forever. No, you don't. And Taurus season is in that way very kind to you because it will give you the tools you need to forgive yourself. Very interesting. You guys are so soft and so vulnerable in May. And it's so beautiful. And it's gonna be okay. And it's just setting you up for beautiful, untainted things that will be so good for you. So, do the work bravely. Don't be scared. Don't blame yourself. Don't get mad at yourself. Just accept it, heal from it, and let's move forward into great abundance. Everybody gets hurt. Everybody makes mistakes. Love you. Let's look at these cards. Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to the second part of your reading. The sun is setting. It is beautiful. Casting long shadows, your cards are. So, let's look. As you may have figured out by now, last month was about forgiving others, and this month is about forgiving yourself. But what is all this forgiveness setting you up for? I think you have to revisit the past to even admit where you've made mistakes. But I don't want you to make another mistake while you're back there. So we revisit the past, or the past comes back to us, not so we can get back into the same stuff, but so we can see clearly what we couldn't see before. The rub here is that if you can't see yourself clearly, you'll end up making the same mistakes again. And perhaps for many of you, that will be the lesson. But I'd rather you not have to learn it that way, right? My dad always says that smart people learn from other people's mistakes. So learn from your past self. See, your past self has already done this. And it has been down that road probably more than once. But every time the opportunity comes back around, it's like you jump at it to make the same mistake. May 2020 wants to teach you how to evolve. Not transform, not come back from the dead, not be a phoenix, but to evolve. And I think there's an important distinction there to be made. So, the past comes back, either emotionally or physically or both. And you are tested And what you are tested on this time is not whether or not the past was toxic. You know that already. But about what role you played in it and what role you choose to play this time around. Now, what do I mean? I mean, if you were lied to in the past and you let it go, will you let it go again? Or can you forgive yourself for letting it go back then? I mean, if in the past you were manipulated, especially in terms of money, and you knew, and you let it happen, do you let it happen again? And if not, do you forgive yourself for it happening the first time? A huge part of why Scorpios are so spiky is because you're like that with yourselves too. It's not like that there's some, entitlement to your venom. It's not like everybody else gets the venom, but you don't. You get it too. And here, Taurus season wants to teach you a bit of warmth towards yourself, but first that means facing the truth. Whatever it was back then that broke your heart, whatever it is that continues to make you miserable about that situation, what was your part in it? And is it okay to let yourself off the hook? That's a huge question for you guys, because you don't like to lose, and you certainly don't like to be the cause of your own losing. But again, Taurus season wants to teach you, as the sun sits across from you, and Uranus, how to be kinder, softer to yourself, to your past mistakes, to your past self. How does being softer and kinder to your past self translate into a new future and not making those mistakes again? See, the difference between being reborn and evolving is that being reborn doesn't necessarily save you from making the same mistakes. Evolution will. Here, you can be victorious over your past, or you can continue to lie to yourself about it, either by absolving yourself of any blame or by taking all the blame. Either way, it's not accurate. But if we are honest and we speak honestly about what happened and how perhaps the wool was pulled over your eyes, sure, but you knew it was happening and you let it happen. And that's okay, without getting into the why and what's wrong with me and nothing's wrong with you. You love. You're much more open than people like to give you credit for. You're much softer than people would ever like to admit. And it's actually very, very easy to hurt you. Sometimes I think you even go along with stuff that's very painful just so you don't have to say out loud and admit that somebody is hurting you. These are the things we confront in May. That's what you go deep into. And is that going to make you fight with yourself? Yeah, it will. But out of that wrestling will come a lot of good fortune. Just be careful that you don't get stuck there. Once you get into how and why, go in there friendly and don't turn around and start kicking yourself. Go in friendly and stay friendly. Stay soft, stay compassionate, the way you would with someone that you don't hold to the same high standards, and by that I mean everybody else. You are allowed, Scorpio, sometimes to extend that heart of yours to yourself. Because if there is anyone right now that needs it most, it's you. So, regardless of if you've done the forgiving or not, now is the time to do it for yourself. And perhaps those of you who weren't able to do it last month for others will do it the other way around now. Perhaps you've been waiting until May to first go easy on yourself and thus making it easier to let everybody else off the hook. Maybe you got to get off the hook first. Regardless, it's time. It's time to allow yourself to be happy even though you're not perfect. And see, I think sometimes you think that's an insult, which is hilarious to me. You know that's a term of endearment. You know people only say that to you because they love you, because they can see how painfully you struggle to be perfect. They don't say it to insult you, they say it because they want you to relax and be human like the rest of us. It's okay. Because as long as you're more than human, as long as you're not allowed to make mistakes, every little mistake you make will hit you in your heart and it will not let up. And you will just keep kicking yourself and kicking yourself. And that's exactly why this month is so important for you, because that has to stop. It's not nice, it's not kind, it's not realistic, it's not healthy. And perhaps this will have the greatest impact on you. It will keep you from being as great as you really are. And there's an irony in that, which I'm sure you've already seen. Let's get into these one by one. I'll see you in the extended in just a second. Recorded reading links, one-on-one video chat links are both below. One is sent to your inbox, the other is done live. And the Vimeo and the Instant Extended are below as well. One is sent to your inbox, and the other you log on to Vimeo. Both can be watched over and over again. I think I told you I love you, but I'll tell you again. I love you.